Thanks for joining us on the CBN News Channel. I'm Heather Sells.
And I'm Ephraim Graham. President Obama laid out his vision for the next 2 years in the State of the Union address. He's calling for major investments in education, infrastructure, and science and technology to make America more competitive. But Republicans say investments is Obama speak for spending. And as John Jessup reports, they're ready to do just the opposite: cut.
With a theme of winning for America, the president insisted the country is poised for progress. Progress, he says, that comes with a commitment to face the challenges head on.
We know what it takes to compete for the jobs and industries of our time. We need to out-innovate, out-educate, and out-build the rest of the world.
He called for encouraging innovation, reforming education, and modernizing America's infrastructure and industries. Those calls come with a cost which he described as investments. Talk of investments led to a cold reception from Republicans who see it as more government spending.
I was hoping to hear about cut, but I heard spend.
Whether sold as stimulus or repackaged as investment, their actions show they want a federal government that controls too much, taxes too much, and spends too much in order to do too much.
The GOP might be a more willing partner in efforts to tackle the federal debt and deficit spending.
We shouldn't just give our people a government that's more affordable. We should give them a government that's more competent and more efficient.
The president proposed a 5-year freeze on all non-security related discretionary spending.
I think a 5-year freeze on spending that produces only $400 billion in savings, while that is a nice step, I believe that is only a token.
So you have to really be careful about how you trim, what you do in order that you not harm and make unemployment even worse than it is.
But Republicans are eager to do more. Some lawmakers have proposed as much as $100 billion in spending cuts.
I think that the dominant issue of this Congress is overspending and debt by the federal government.
On health care, the president said he's open to making changes, but defended the reform law for improving lives. Republicans have a very different take.
We do believe that we ought to repeal it and replace it. He believes we ought to tinker with it.
The government controlling another 1/6 of our economy and controlling the health care decisions is not a good thing.
President Obama acknowledged the empty seat in the chamber, reserved for Congresswoman Gabrielle Giffords, and called on Republicans and Democrats to work together to build a better America. The president has a tough sell, not only here on Capitol Hill, where he must convince a divided Congress to buy into his plans, he must also win over a skeptical American public whose votes last November showed they overwhelmingly rejected the president's policies. John Jessup, CBN News, Capitol Hill.
Thanks, John. In addition to the official Republican response, Tea Party favorite Michelle Bachmann weighed in with her own high-profile speech. It was originally aimed just at Tea Party activists, but CNN ended up broadcasting it live. Bachmann focused on the signature Tea Party theme, cutting the deficit.
Thanks to you, there's reason for all of us to have hope that real spending cuts are coming. Because last November, you went to the polls and you voted out the big spending politicians and you put in their place great men and women with a commitment to follow our Constitution and cut the size of government.
Bachmann has acknowledged she is considering seeking the Republican Party presidential nomination for 2012.
And joining us right now with more on the State of the Union is Tom Mikulski of the Family Research Council. Thank you so much. President Obama proposed new investments to spur the economy. Some would say, didn't he try that the first 2 years of his presidency?
Right. To build off of an analogy that the president used last night, this was kind of the president's Sputnik last night. At one time, his ideas might have been shiny and new, except we've shown that they don't work and they're just plummeting into earth and hurting our economy right now. His thought of investment is more spending, and it was kind of insulting that he said that innovation doesn't happen without government intervention.
Now, the president did call for a 5-year spending freeze last night. Is that going to be enough?
Not at all. And if you'll recall, last year he called for a 3-year spending freeze. So all he's doing is extending it by 2 years. And at the same time he was calling for that freeze, he signed into law a health care bill that increased the deficit substantially while also putting unfunded mandates to the states and taxpayers.
Tom, in the GOP response, Paul Ryan painted a dire picture if action is not taken when it comes to spending. Do you think the rest of Washington gets this?
I think the new guys coming in do, and the new ladies coming in do. It was pretty. Paul Ryan showed that there's adults now in Washington, and they have adult ideas, and they're going to take these things seriously. And how everything comes out, both from the president's side and Congress's side, will be interesting to watch.
In the 90s, Newt Gingrich and the GOP had a showdown with the president when it came to overspending, and they got their heads essentially handed to them. What do they need to do to succeed this time around?
Well, this time around, they need to be more united and they need to be more consistent. And I see that in the Republican caucus now, more so than in the 90s. This is one of the largest freshman classes coming in and one of the most pro-life and pro-fiscally conservative classes coming in. So I think if they stay together and the American people realize how serious things are, the standoffs will fall to their side.
In light of last night's speech, what do you expect when the president hands over that budget in the next coming days?
I expect a lot of the same old, going after the old evil oil companies while investing in green jobs that can barely survive without government subsidies. I'm not expecting too much difference.
All right, we'll be watching for sure. Tom Mikulski, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Maryland lawmakers are poised to vote on whether to legalize same-sex marriage. Legislation has already been introduced in the state Senate, and it's expected to be rolled out in the state House as early as today. Gay marriage has never been considered by the full assembly. A robust debate is expected before votes are cast.
I believe that most of the citizens in the state of Maryland agree that some type of a civil union ought to be granted, but they draw the line when you take the term marriage. And I think that's going to play itself out as we go through the legislative process, and we'll see how it happens.
The bill is called the Religious Freedom and Civil Marriage Protection Act. Supporters say the proposal would not require religious entities to perform same-sex weddings if they don't support them.
The English couple who was fined for refusing to rent a room to a homosexual couple could now actually lose their home. Peter and Hazel Mary Bull run the Kaimorva Guest House in Bristol, renting out the rooms upstairs and living downstairs. The Christian couple has a policy of not renting double rooms to unmarried couples, gay or straight. Last week, a judge ruled the policy violates the law protecting the rights of gays. The couple says they will not compromise their biblical principles, but if they can't rent out rooms, they won't be able to pay the mortgage and could be left without a place to live.
A Virginia school district will be reposting the Ten Commandments in every school in the county. The commandments were up on the walls in Giles County for at least a decade next to framed copies of the Constitution. But one resident complained, claiming the display of the Ten Commandments violated the Constitution. So school officials took them down. Then several parents and pastors, supported by numerous citizens, told the board it had a moral obligation to reinforce God's teaching. So the 5-member school board voted unanimously to put the Ten Commandments back up. The school superintendent says they'll wait to see if there is a lawsuit.
A federal appeals court in San Francisco is upholding World Vision's practice of hiring only people who share the same faith. The case involves 3 employees of the Christian humanitarian group who were fired because they no longer agreed with World Vision's statement of faith. World Vision contends that its hiring practices are covered as a religious organization under the 1964 Civil Rights Act. A World Vision spokesman says he hopes this latest ruling settles the case, but the plaintiffs could ask the Supreme Court to intercede.
A key Southern Baptist leader has withdrawn from an interfaith coalition. It was supposed to monitor discrimination against mosques in the U.S. Dr. Richard Land is the longtime president of the Southern Baptist Convention's Ethics and Religious Liberty Commission. Land tells CBN News many Southern Baptists felt the interfaith group cross the line from defending religious freedom to promoting Islam.
Evidently, Southern Baptists feel that it's a bridge too far for us to be filing suit on behalf of Muslims, that, as they put it to me, you don't have to do that. They can do that themselves. I'm a denominational servant. And as that, I have a twofold role. One's prophetic, and the other's representative. And that balance can get tricky. I will still, in my prophetic role, call for Southern Baptists and all Americans to defend and to advocate for complete religious freedom.
Land says that although he is withdrawing from the coalition, he is not stepping aside from his commitment to religious liberty for all Americans. An American lawmaker is taking steps to protect religious minorities in the Middle East and South Central Asia. Virginia Congressman Frank Wolf has introduced legislation calling for the creation of a special envoy at the U.S. State Department. Egypt saw a deadly church bombing New Year's Day, you may remember, and Wolf says the attacks against religious minorities are increasing, especially in places like Egypt and Iraq. He says the U.S. has an obligation to intercede, especially among allies receiving billions in U.S. aid.
Coming up, Muslims against Christians in Sudan, why Iran may try to stir up violence in South Sudan.
We asked CBN.com users how we could make our website easier to use, and we listened.
This is really easy to read and move through.
The information opens up a whole lot quicker.
Yeah, it's much faster. There's everything I'm interested in right here. The click of a mouse.
The new CBN.com has been redesigned, making it faster to find your favorite 700 Club stories, musical guests, our online community, and special features.
Anyone can enjoy this new site.
Visit the new CBN.com today.
In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth.
These are the greatest stories ever told. Presented by Academy Award winner Charlton Heston.
Thus saith the Lord of Israel, let my people go.
Join Charlton Heston as he travels the sacred lands of the Bible.
I'm going to take you with me on a journey exploring the stories in the Bible and the ancient land where they happened. This is said to be the very garden. This, the very rock where Jesus prayed for strength.
Now the Bible comes to life like never before. Time Life presents Charlton Heston's The Bible.
And Moses cast the tablets from his hands.
Praised by critics, this landmark TV series is now available on digitally remastered DVDs. You'll be inspired by the greatest stories from the Old and New Testaments, enhanced by historic works of art. Get Charlton Heston Presents The Bible on 4 DVDs for $49.99. Call with your credit card and save $10.
And Abraham stretched forth his hand and took the knife to slay his son.
And that's not all. You'll also get a free bonus DVD that takes you behind the scenes. And if you call in the next 10 minutes, we'll ship for free. That's an additional savings of nearly $7.
For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever.
Call now to get Charlton Heston's The Bible on 5 DVDs for just $39.99. Call in the next 10 minutes and we'll ship for free.
Now therefore go, and I will be with thee.
Call 1-800-748-5167 to order Charlton Heston Presents The Bible for $39.99 and receive free shipping when you call in the next 10 minutes with your credit card.
Israeli police have arrested 3 Palestinians in the murder of an American Christian tourist that was killed last year. Kristen Lucan was stabbed to death while hiking in a forest outside Jerusalem in December. Police say the suspect sought to avenge the death of an Hamas operative who was assassinated in a Dubai hotel last year. Israeli intelligence agents are suspected to have carried out the operation.
Violent protests broke out in Lebanon after the election of a Hezbollah-backed candidate to the post of prime minister. Sunni Muslims took to the streets in several cities, angry over the growing power and influence of the Shiite Hezbollah. The largest protests broke out in Tripoli, a city dominated by Sunnis. Some fear the increasing power of the Iranian-backed Hezbollah could mean more violence with Israel or even another civil war.
In Egypt, 3 people died Tuesday as thousands of protesters clashed with police in what they called a day of rage. Officials turned tear gas and the water cannons on the crowd after they hurled rocks at police. Angry over persistent poverty, high unemployment, and corruption, they called for President Mubarak to step down. The violence comes after a popular uprising toppled a tyrannical government in Tunisia last month. Egyptian protesters copied the Tunisians using Facebook and Twitter to rally support and even setting themselves on fire to show their desperation.
South Sudan is expected to become Africa's newest country when results of a recent vote on independence are announced next month. But Sudan's Arab Muslim government and its ally Iran may not let the South and other regions break away without a fight. Eric Stakelbeck has the story.
For more than 20 years, Sudan's Arab Muslim government, based in the country's north, waged a ruthless jihad against the South that saw some 2 million black Africans killed. Many were Christians. Now that the South is set to become an independent nation, Sudanese dictator Omar al-Bashir is once again rallying his troops.
The Islamist Salafist and jihadist forces who rule the elites of Khartoum are going to try to do everything they can, one, to undermine the viability of the young southern Sudan, two, to make sure that no other spots in Sudan, which are against the government, against the jihadi regime, will erupt as well.
Middle East expert Walid Faris, author of the new book, The Coming Revolution, says one of the most important of those potential hotspots lies in eastern Sudan.
There, you have a population known as the Beja population, and they too are claiming that Khartoum is persecuting them, and they may be calling for self-determination.
The Beja live along the Red Sea in eastern Sudan. It's a vital waterway not only for Bashir's government, but for Iran as well.
The Iranian regime is now putting tremendous pressure on Khartoum and Bashir to make sure that this region will remain under quote-unquote jihadi control. Why? Because the Iranians now are moving into the Red Sea.
Faris says Iran wants a Red Sea port in Sudan where it can base ships and other assets to turn up the heat not only on Israel, but also its Arab rivals in Egypt and Saudi Arabia. Bashir's regime has lost the south, where much of Sudan's oil is based, and Bashir is also under indictment from the International Criminal Court on charges of genocide. That, and the potential to one day be under an Iranian nuclear umbrella, makes an alliance with the Iranian regime even more attractive to Khartoum. Eric Stakelbeck, CBN News, Washington.
Up next, Africa's economic boom, why the continent is on the fast track for financial success.
What makes the miracles of Jesus even more miraculous? Standing where they happened, in Israel. Come explore Jerusalem, where Jesus opened blind eyes. Visit the hills of Galilee, where Jesus fed the multitude. Stroll through Capernaum, where Jesus lived and taught and healed. To learn more about standing where it all happened in Israel, visit www.goisrael.com. Come visit Israel.
Endless pools are an incredible alternative to traditional pools, making it easy and inexpensive to swim at home. Call our toll-free number or visit our website. A free idea kit and DVD will be sent to your home so you can discover all the benefits of owning your own pool. Compared to traditional pools, endless pools are simple to install, easy to maintain, and economical to run. Our precision-engineered pools enable you to swim or exercise against a smooth current that adjusts to any speed and ability. Endless pools are perfect for year-round health and fitness, relaxation, and family fun. Our free idea kit and DVD will show you how easy it is for the whole family to enjoy a pool right in your backyard or home. An endless pool or an endless pool swim spa can become a showplace for your home. Call our toll-free number or visit the website to find out more about endless pools. The free idea kit will show you just how easy it is to be able to swim at home.
What makes the miracles of Jesus even more miraculous? Standing where they happened, in Israel. Come sail the Sea of Galilee, where Jesus calmed a raging storm. Experience Jerusalem, where Jesus restored a paralyzed man. Explore Capernaum, where Jesus spoke a centurion servant into health. To learn more about standing where it all happened in Israel, visit goisrael.com. Come visit Israel.
It is a continent with 54 countries and close to 1 billion people.
And although most people don't realize that Africa is becoming one of the world's greatest economic success stories, George Thomas has today's Focus Report from Johannesburg, South Africa.
Ubuntu. It's a well-known saying here in parts of Southern Africa. It means I am what I am because of who we all are.
and who we all are a people yearning to make our lives better and to work together with the rest of the world.
And Africans increasingly want to play a role in that world. Today across Africa, the power of Ubuntu is giving millions of people hope about the future of their continent.
I do believe that Africa is a rising continent.
People working together to lift their nations from the ashes of war, famine, death, disease, AIDS, and corruption. And what gives you the optimism?
I suppose the will of the people to actually be stronger, and to do something and to make it better.
Surveys show there are few corners of this vast land where optimism, especially among young people, isn't rising.
It's true that Africa does face many problems, but I think that it's not insurmountable. I think that there is a lot of hope for the youth that we as a continent can pull through.
From the International Monetary Fund to the World Bank to influential business magazines, experts point to a vibrant and changing Africa. Some even liken it to an African renaissance.
It's growing. It's growing. It's going to be like the same as the other countries, the other top countries soon.
This year, 8 of the 20 fastest growing economies in the world will hail from Africa. The continent's overall economy is expected to grow in the years to come at a rapid rate of 5 to 8% annually.
Certainly, I think in the next 10 to 15 years, given the GDP estimates of Africa, the population and the services available, it certainly could be a place to invest your money.
George Nichols runs a multi-million-dollar consultancy group out of Johannesburg, South Africa. He says much of Africa's growth is fueled by an exploding middle class. That number's around 400 million and climbing.
A lot of domestic spend goes on mobile phones. A lot of domestic spend goes on beverages and alcohol, staple foods. And outside of that, where you see the growth now is actually in banking services. So cell phones and telecommunications are brought banking to Africa. And once you bring banking to people, businesses start to flourish.
And this is the new Africa story, a continent that is consuming like never before on shopping malls that are sprouting up all over the place. People buying cell phone technology, opening up bank accounts, buying homes, cars, food, clothes. You really get a sense that Africa is finally moving ahead. The World Bank says up to 40% of the gross domestic product of some of the largest African economies is fueled by the service sector. And you have disposable income now to spend?
Yes.
Yeah. And
yeah,
do you
I work now. I'm currently employed and I'm happy with my job.
Do you worry about debt?
No, I'm 16. I think that's my parents' job.
Good answer.
One gets the sense that there is a lot of excitement about Africa. Africa's time has come.
Trevor Ngube is a successful Zimbabwean media mogul. He owns several leading newspapers and other business enterprises across the continent. He's thrilled that Africa is now the third fastest growing economic region in the world after Asia and the Middle East.
Seeing my generation, and more so our children and people younger than me, who are passionate about the continent, who see this being the place that the whole world is going to stand up and pay attention to in the next 20, 30, 40 years to come.
Nikki Newton-King is preparing for it. She helps run one of the largest stock exchanges in Africa. King says investors, both inside and outside the continent, are looking for ways to play Africa.
I think that the whole emerging market appetite is ticking up. I think Africa is the undiscovered continent and the undiscovered emerging market.
Are there still serious problems plaguing the continent? Absolutely. Africa faces new challenges every day, and experts say investors should be prepared for the long haul.
People must understand that investing in Africa is not for sissies. People must understand that there are going to be risks, and they need to understand the nature of those risks.
But if the trends continue, Africa will play an increasingly important role in the world, and perhaps too as a strategic and vital engine of the global economy. George Thomas, CBN News in Johannesburg, South Africa.
Interesting, because you've got the church in Africa growing in influence too. So
absolutely,
all these paradigms are changing.
Indeed, indeed, and it's certainly not the image we typically think of when we think of the continent of Africa.
All right, well, stay with us. We'll be right back.
Millions of women worldwide love Bare Minerals.
This is smooth, it's nice, and it covers. I like that.
Only Bare Minerals looks like beautiful bare skin, while it covers whatever you want it to. And now you can get our latest kit with our totally new, totally spill-proof Click Lock Go Foundation. For over 75% off retail, our new kit comes with Bare Minerals Foundation in the shade that's just right for you. Warmth for a healthy glow. Mineral Veil, the ultimate finishing touch. And Bare Minerals Flawless Application Brush. Call now and get 3 full-size gifts worth $57.95 free. Purchased separately, you'd spend over $120. Our original Get Started kit was a great deal at 2 payments of $29.99. But now you can get all this for just 1 payment of $29.99. Save over $90 and get a 30-day money-back guarantee.
Call 1-800-376-4174. Ask how you can receive this handy compact. Call 1-800-376-4174 now.
It's impossible to close an open can with a pop top. Open cans spill in the fridge. What a mess. And open cans lose their fizz. What a waste. Introducing Bottle Top. It turns your can into a bottle with the snap of a cap. Open metal cans can't travel. What a waste. Bottle Top turns your can into a bottle that's perfectly portable. You can't do this with an open can. Bottle Top lets any soda keep its carbonation. Look, bugs are gross, but Bottle Top protects your drink from insects. When you're done drinking, just pop it off. Rinse under hot water and reuse. Bottle Top keeps drinks from spilling. Now get 6 colored bottle tops for just $10. Call now and get 6 more. Plus, we'll send you the can top popper. Just pay separate shipping and handling. You get 12 amazing bottle tops, plus the can top popper, all for just $10.
Call 1-800-377-9176. But hurry, call now. We're giving away a bonus 6 more bottle tops and the can top popper with today's orders. That's 1-800-377-9176. Call now.
And finally today, bad news for Taco Bell lovers.
An Alabama law firm has a beef with the way the fast food chain is advertising its beef. Turns out what Taco Bell calls beef may not be all beef. The lawsuit claims the Mexican food company uses false advertising when it refers to its meat as seasoned ground beef. A study found the meat mixture actually contains binders and extenders and contains less than 35% beef. But beef or not, die-hard taco fans say it won't keep them away.
If it were 20%, I would still be happy with Taco Bell.
We love it.
So it doesn't really make any difference what's in it, right?
No. Oh, it's delicious.
The filler's delicious?
It is.
You don't care about the lawsuit?
No.
Why?
No. Because I love Taco Bell.
Wow. Do you work for Taco Bell?
No, it's just that good.
Good extenders and binders. Taco Bell says there's nothing wrong with its beef. The lawsuit does not seek damages from the food chain. Attorneys say they just hope the suit keeps fast food restaurants honest.
That is a loyal customer base there.
I tell you.
Well, that's all for this hour of the CBN News Channel. And you can find more of today's top headlines along with our exclusive coverage of the issues you care most about at cbnnews.com.
And you can stay up to date with us through CBN as well as Facebook and Twitter. Bye-bye.
Fresh, wholesome juice. There's nothing like it. But until now, you had to stress and strain and make a huge mess to get just a little bit of juice. But not anymore, thanks to the Jack LaLanne Power Juicer. You can drop in whole vegetables, whole fruits, apples, oranges, celery, cucumbers with no chopping, no slicing, no struggling. And thanks to the Power Juicer's revolutionary patented extraction technology, you can get up to 30% more juice than those other juicers. Doctors recommend we get 5 to 9 servings of fruits and vegetables every day. With the Power Juicer, you'll be drinking your recommended daily allowance in just seconds. And the pulp from the extra large pulp catcher can be used to make pasta sauces, healthy desserts, and much more. The Power Juicer is dishwasher safe, so cleanup's a breeze, and the powerful motor is guaranteed for life. Order the Jack LaLanne Power Juicer now for just 2 easy payments of $49.90. And as part of this special TV offer, we'll also send you this amazing recipe guide filled with over 60 of Jack's favorite recipes. Try the Jack LaLanne Power Juicer in your home risk-free for 30 days. If you're not completely satisfied, send it back for a full refund of the purchase price, no questions asked. Call now.
Introducing the all-new Gizmos Bible Adventures from Superbook.tv. This delightful full-color 30-day devotional is filled with fun puzzles and activities you can do with your children, and it's absolutely free. Kids will love finding out how to grow as a Christian from Chris, Joy, and Gizmo, their Superbook friends. Parents, please visit superbook.tv and click on the Gizmo's Bible Adventures link to download this booklet today. It can help build a wonderful life for your kids.